Bog snorkelling, the event where competitors try and complete 2 lengths of a bog in the UK's smallest town, Llanturdid Wells in mid-Wales, relying on just the power of their flippers. Competitors come from all over the world to battle the eels in the darkness of the bog to take home the frog-shaped trophy. And it is no surprise that the weird world of bog snorkelling has an equally weird origin.
So they held these impromptu meetings in the back bar of the pub, at which they would discuss various suggestions, ideas, throw them at one another. And the theory is that you talk about it one night, and then if by the next night you can still remember what you said, and you haven't found a reason not to do it, they'll have a go at it. And this time, apparently, I wasn't here at the time, but they said, well, what can we do? And what have we got? And they looked around, they thought, we've got heels and we've got this, that and the other. They said, well, it's the same as normal. And then some wag at the back come up with the idea. He said, well, I've got a bog in my back garden. And well, what are we going to do with that? They said, we could swim in it. And of course, some other guys said, we could snorkel in it. And that's how it started, to be honest.
Since then, bog snorkelling has had 28 events. In 2017, Neil Rutter, an art teacher from Swindon, entered the bog for the very first time, unaware that he was about to become the world champion. A year later, he broke the world record with a time of 1 minute 18.81 seconds, and he became the 3-time world champion a year after that on his 3rd ever snorkel.
That was genuinely super cool. It was a genuine highlight of my life, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I was quite keen to. I was like, yeah, it'd be really cool if I could get that. And you hit the finishing post that you aim for, and they announced the time, and they said that's a world record. Genuinely, that was pretty cool. Yeah, gave it a little victory celebration and a little dance on the side of the bog. It was good. It was good fun. In 2018, I had a little go at practicing. We went to a local lake and I spent an hour or so working out how to try and paddle in a straight line, because you can't see anything. It's completely pitch black when you've got your face in the mud. And I just thought, well, if I could limit it so I don't go in a zigzag, there's probably quite a bit of time to be saved there. And that was as much practice as I got. So you think that I'd be some kind of expert because I've won it 3 times on the bounce, but I've done it 3 times. I don't know many other sports where you would go and just do it 3 times and consider yourself like at the top of your game. So I do take it with a complete pinch of salt. It's a laugh. And there's maybe a handful of people who take it seriously enough they try and go as hard as they possibly can. And then there's everyone else. It's like a fun run. You have people in fancy dress, and you'll see a bunch of greats swim down 1 minute, and then the Titanic will swim down, someone dressed like that. I said after the 3rd, I was like, well, I've done it. I've won it 3 times in a row. I've got the record, and that's it. And then I started thinking about it. And it's like, well, actually, could I go faster? What if I improve the kit that I've got? I'm sure, like, when you start thinking these things through, and go, well, a faster wetsuit and maybe better flippers and more sort of aquadynamic snorkel, maybe. I don't know. I'm a cyclist, so all the aerodynamic gains go through my head on the road. And you're like, well, if you apply that sort of principle to it, I bet there's loads of time to be saved just by refining the kit and actually having a practice. Like any more than 3 times, I have no idea if my technique is any good or efficient. It's obviously reasonably efficient, but if I were to spend a week by the bog and like do some time trials, work some stuff out, try some different kit and see what works quicker, I bet there would be time to save. And I was all up for that, and even had it booked for this year. I'd booked a week down in Wales, and now they've just told me today actually that it's not going ahead today. So maybe 2022. I want to go back. It's great fun. If nothing else, it is a bit of a party each year and an excuse to go and have a laugh and do something with your bank holiday Monday or Sunday. Yeah, it's good fun.
Although bog snorkelling is relatively unheard of in Britain, Overseas, it is taken very seriously. Competitors come from all over the world to try and etch their name into bog snorkelling history.
It's transferred now. They did have events in Australia copying it. They've had those in Ireland also, which still exist, that do bog snorkeling, and now in Sweden. And the Swedish champions always come over after they've done theirs to compete in ours. In fact, in this country, fewer people know about it than do in Australia. Australia, it's the biggest thing you can imagine. You talk to anybody out there, and they've all heard of bog snorkeling. They may not have heard of whales, but they've heard of bog snorkeling.
While it is very unlikely that a bog snorkeler will ever find themselves on an Olympic podium, it is undoubtable that the sport will continue to grow and bring people together for a fun, action-packed day.